Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of More Please. Today, I will be giving you my take on Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion's Grammy performance. Plus, Abbey Lee Miller has a little critique for Britney Spears and Mrs. Doubtfire, a rated R movie. Yep, I'll be talking and giving you my take on those. Plus, my good Judy Dorinda Barker from NXT Connection will be breaking it down about online dating. And trust me, I know some of y'all definitely need to pay attention to this. So grab those mugs because it's time for More Please. All right. Okay, y'all, listen, as always, right before I do this, it was actually kind of a slow week this week, but that doesn't mean I don't have stuff to say about what happened. It's time for Tony's Take. All right, so finally, I had a chance to finish watching the Grammys. My DVR actually cut most of it off. I thought it was 3.5 hours, but apparently it was more than that. But I got through whatever my DVR gave me. But afterwards, I noticed there was a lot of complaints about the Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion performance. If you guys were not familiar, they gave you that wet, 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 and there were definitely some holes in that house. And there were a lot of people, mainly in the Midwest, that complained to the FCC about their performance. Here's the thing. I don't understand, even in this day and age, why parents still think that television and television shows are supposed to teach your children how to be proper adults. You have to step in, and if you don't want them seeing that wet, 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 then make sure you turn that off or make sure you DVR the Grammys like I did. You can watch through it, and then you decide, oh, okay, that's not for us, or, whatever. I obviously didn't see anything wrong with the performance because I'm grown, but also keep in mind that kids were probably privy to all of this. If they have TikTok or any sort of social media, they already heard the song. They already know the lyrics. They already know the dance. They're more familiar with this than you may think. So put your pens and papers down, close your laptops. No need to complain to the FCC. If it ain't for you, then don't watch it. If you want to monitor what kids are watching, then make sure you watch it before your kids watch it. But I guarantee you, they're going to YouTube it. Their friend is going to talk about it. They're going to find it on TikTok. They're going to see it regardless. As a parent, have a conversation about it if you feel the need. But yeah, it's so weird that people still complain about stuff. Like, I feel like there probably hasn't, nope, because it's on, the Grammys are on CBS. They complained about J-Lo and Shakira and what they wore. There will always be people complaining. Listen, those are your kids. It's not the network's responsibility or Cardi B or Meg Thee Stallion's responsibility to monitor what your kids watch. If they want to give us that wet, 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 then let them, because I was here for it. Okay. So I found this very interesting. You guys remember the 90s movie Mrs. Doubtfire, right? It starred Robin Williams and as a basically in drag as an elderly babysitter for Sally Field's kids. Wonderful, funny movie, another classic given to us by Robin Williams. But there was all this hoopla over the weekend. A tweet went out that apparently there was an NC-17 version of this movie. This movie was rated PG-13, but some fans were saying that they thought there was an NC-17 version out, and they were demanding to see that version. Chris Columbus, the director of Mrs. Doubtfire, replied and said, there's not an NC-17 version, but there is an R-rated version. Because apparently Robin Williams had an agreement that he would do 2 to 3 takes of what was in the script, and then after that, just let him play. So he would go off the cuff and improv and all of that. And now fans really want to see this R-rated version of Mrs. Doubtfire. To be honest, I love Mrs. Doubtfire. These are one of those movies that, like, when it's on, it's like, oh my God, I haven't seen this one in a while. So, like, let me just tune into this. But I don't think I necessarily want to see an R-rated version of this. This was such a loving, like, sort of family, film. And I don't want maybe some of the things that are considered very racy for either Robin Williams' male character or Mrs. Doubtfire to then kind of not go with, like, what we know and love about these characters. But what I did like was that he suggested that he'll show the footage that they have, but maybe in a documentary. Now, a documentary I can do, like some behind the scenes on how the film was made and some stuff that ended up on the cutting room floor. Like, I can watch that. You guys tell me, would you want to see the R-rated version of Mrs. Doubtfire, or are you good with the PG-13 version? Let me know. If you're here live, say it in the comments. If not, if you're watching later, which I hope you are, comment below on that. Speaking of old women, that is such a horrible transition. So we have everyone's dance teacher, Abbey Lee Miller, who decided to leave a comment on one of Britney Spears's dance videos, a little critique for her to hold in her rib cage or suck in her abs or make her abs tight, something like that. And the Britney fans went in on Abbey Lee Miller. I feel like rightfully so. Britney is going through a lot right now. Like, she doesn't need someone coming on and telling her, what she needs to do when she's just happily dancing in her house. Those dance videos are for her. We all sometimes pull out our camera and just kind of dance like no one's watching. We don't need a critique. And listen, if I'm being 100% real, I honestly feel like this is just another way for Abbey to push herself into the limelight and to, kind of, again, with the brand of being a dance teacher, and I'm just a teacher giving a critique, and I'll be so happy to give her more critiques if she wants to slide in the DM, which is what she said in a video that was sent to TMZ, which that was another thing. I thought to myself, did you really need to respond with a video and send that to TMZ? Like, I feel like that's another way for you to, like, push yourself into the limelight. To be honest, we don't need your critique at all. So let Britney dance freely and happily in her house, because she's clearly not bothering anybody. Anyway, moving on to one of my favorite singers, the legendary rock and roller, Miss Tina Turner. Her documentary, Tina, comes on this Saturday on HBO and HBO Max at 8 p.m. We all know the story of Tina Turner. We all know her beginnings with Ike Turner. We all saw the movie What's Love Got to Do with It, starring Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne. But this is again, another inside look into the life of Tina. And I am 1000% here for it. Like, I cannot wait to see this documentary. It's going to be an interview with her, a recent interview with her, as she's like going through and giving us more in-depth details of her life back then, from beginning when she started with the Ike and Tina Turner Review up until her comeback, in the 80s. And it's going to be meshed with like footage from that time and everything like that, which I love seeing the old school Tina Turner and the Ikeettes and all of that. Like, I love that. So listen, on Saturday, let me tell you where you can find me. You can find me in my favorite little corner of the couch, tuning in to HBO Max, another streaming service that you're going to have at 8 p.m. to find out all the tea about Miss Tina Turner. And y'all make sure you tune in too, because Tina has actually been dealing with a lot of like health issues and stuff like that. And she said this is kind of her final gift to fans. Tina Turner is 81 years old, y'all. So like, she's given us a lot and she ain't got no more to give. So show the love and support back. Watch Tina on HBO Max, March 27th, Saturday at 8 p.m. All right. All right, you guys. So listen, I got a lot more tea to come up. We are going to be talking online dating with Dorinda Barker. So don't go anywhere. There's more, please.
Imagine a place where creatives have a key to the city. It's an experience, a vibe, a desire to inform and entertain. This is a city for thinkers, a city for doers, a city for dreamers. This is New Amsterdam. Learn more at newamsterdam.com.
Dream it, believe it, achieve it. Siren Properties. Connecting you to real estate around the world.
Woo! Welcome back, y'all. I feel like I was just here. But listen, it's my favorite part of the show, y'all. And today, we are going to talk about online dating. So attention, all single ladies and gents. Let's have a kiki. Y'all, sometimes I get caught up watching these little videos in between. So I'm over here dancing and doing the most, and it's a lot. But anyway, please help me welcome my good Judy from NXT Connection to talk about online dating and give some wonderful suggestions on how you can make your dating profile pop. Give it up for Miss Dorinda Barker. Hey, Dorinda.
Hi, Tony. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I was loving sitting in the back and listening to you. I was like, this is so professional and amazing. You are so good at this.
Oh, thank you. Listen, you give me a camera and stuff to talk about, and like, this is what you get. Just the R-rated. Well, this is an R-rated because there's definitely an R-rated version of Tony Moore. So, Dorinda, first of all, we've had conversations, we've talked, and I'm glad that we're making this segment happen because so many of us are now logged into the apps and trying to find someone online, and the apps have become very popular. I used to always view online dating as like the last resort, right? Like if you can't find someone out and about, then you kind of go to the apps. But now people are like sitting at home on the couch in their favorite, at home t-shirt or sweater and just swiping through and trying to find their next connection. So tell me, and everyone who's watching, exactly what you do in the creation of your company, NXT Connection.
So NXT Connection, I'm an online dating and relationship coach. It's turned into relationships too, and more with like self-love and self-care, because that's where we're finding a big problem right now. It's not that it's a problem. It's just people need to love themselves and be in a right place and energy for online dating and profile expert. Yeah. So I do done for you profiles, and how I even got into it was because of the profile part. I was working a job, here in LA, and it was like one of these, I didn't have to think about anything jobs.
Yeah.
Just a lot of jobs in LA. But so I had these guys who I was working with, and they're saying, I wasn't meeting anybody. I'm not meeting anybody. I was, well, show me your profile. And I was like, oh, I know why you're not meeting people. Right. And so this is just like, I said, we're going to do this, show me more pictures. We put more pictures in there. I did their bios, did a bunch of things. And then all of a sudden, within 24 to 48 hours, it was such a change. It was a 180. They were getting matches of like women that they wanted. They weren't getting any more, you know, solicitors and which happens more with men than it does with women, like, you know, escort service. And
Not the escort service.
Yeah. You'll get a lot of that on the apps. So, and they were the ones that are like, this is a business.
Yeah.
You need to do this because people need you. And that was a few years ago. And I'm on it all the time for work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really, people do need me. And it's not even pumping myself up. It's like, people need me.
Yeah. Kellen has a question. She wants to know, do you have to live in LA to get help, or can you live anywhere?
You can live anywhere. I have a client who's in Denver.
Okay.
And I met her online. I have another client that I worked with. She's from Arizona. I work with people in New York. So what I do, I can do for online. I can be anywhere. So I work remotely. So I can, I've actually had people in England that I worked with too. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I can help you with anything.
So everybody needs help. Like everybody, no matter where you are in the world, everybody needs help. And no matter what your sexual orientation is, everybody needs help.
Yes.
And love.
Yes, I'm very open to everyone because love is love is love.
This is true. This is true. So let's talk about online dating. Number one, let's start with the apps. Like, and I know that you help everyone's profile and everything like that. Do you think the apps are like a great way to find someone and make a connection? Because I feel like some people are kind of like, the apps, but what do you think about them? And the websites as well, like eHarmony and Match.com and all that.
So this is my thinking on apps. First of all, it's the energy you put into them is what you're going to get out of them. So the notion of, and it's changed because of the way 2020 went, and we're still kind of in it. We're having the remnants of it, in that the only way you were going to meet anybody was going to be online. But pre-pandemic, people were like, I would talk to them about online dating, and they're like, just like you. They're like, oh, that's good. I can meet someone in real life. And my response back was nicely, but are you? Because you're talking to me about relationships because you want the relationship part. But when I'm trying to help you, you don't want that part of it either. But I also say that online dating doesn't have to be the end all be all. It's just an extra added benefit to dating. It's another avenue for you to meet people.
Yeah.
So, and I find that people are communicating better now.
Yes.
And that's what I've found. I've had better communication with people. It's become more courting, as I'd like to say it, instead of just dating aimlessly, that's also happening on the apps too. But it's like you have to get to know someone first before you really want to spend time with them.
Exactly.
Which I think is great.
Yeah, I just feel like now that people have had a chance to kind of sit and really like look at the apps and look at the people on the apps and really like pay more attention, I think, more matches and more connections are happening for some people. Because other than that, you kind of have it on, you're doing beep, bop, 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 and then you may get back to that message like, I don't know, 2 days later. But then after a while, you're just kind of like, well, is this person interested in me or not? Or are you just on it just, for validation or just to say that you're trying when you're really not and things like that? So what are the types of people that you find or the way that they date? What are you finding on the apps?
So there's like words that come up. And, people have heard different words, breadcrumbing. I'm not going to go into that because most people know what that is and different things. But there's the serious dater, and those people, they go right into it just wanting to be in a relationship right away. It's like, we're serious right away, 3 days in, and we're like moving in together kind of deal. Yeah. And
what's the word for that?
Apocalypsing.
Aha.
Yes, it's called apocalypsing, which I actually love People think it's weird, but I love Apocalypse Now. It's one of my favorite movies. So when I saw that word, I was like, I love it. I might be weird for thinking that, but yes, that's what apocalypsing is. It's that whole getting very serious really right away and getting into a serious relationship. And though I think that's interesting, but I find a lot that there's a certain type of person who does that.
Yeah.
There is a certain type of, like, I have a sister, my second sister, and she's had a boyfriend since the age of 5.
Oh my God.
She's always had boyfriends. Like she's never
win it. It's like she's trying to find her husband starting at 5.
Yeah. She like found her husband. Like, put it this way, I make the joke, but it's serious. Like I married her at 5 to our next door neighbor at 5. And then I did their divorce in 8th grade.
This sister has lived. She has lived. Listen, I married someone in the 5th grade by the big green slide, so I know what that. I don't know if they're still together, but I know how that is.
Yeah. So here we go. So this says a lot about my life, and she's married now. Like she got married, and I have an amazing brother-in-law. I love him, but she was someone who was always in a relationship. So I guess she was apocalypsing at the age of like 7.
Oh wow! Well, she started very young. What's another one?
Oh, FOMO.
Okay.
The fear. Hold on a second. Of course, as we said that, it's the fear of meeting up. So, which I can understand right now. So we've been talking online. I mean, you've been texting or you've been messaging. Then you can now do, which I love about the apps. It's becoming a much safer place. You don't even have to give your phone number to people now.
Right.
On a lot of these apps, you can just call right on the app itself.
Yeah, or like like the kids are doing now. Use exchange social media. Information like Instagram or something like that. And you can message and video chat on there too without having, exchange phone. Yeah.
So which is great. And then Bumble is now doing something which I really like. So and virtual dates and everything like that. You can do that all on the app or you can do it all on the social media sites. Actually, Bumble is doing something called virtual game night now.
Oh, okay.
So you can do a virtual game night through Bumble. And it's funny because I met the guy that I'm dating now on Bumble. So I got in touch with him. I was like, hey, can we do this? Because he knows what I do. Yeah. And he goes, I just took my stuff off.
Oh.
He goes, which is good for me. I love that. I'm happy that he did that. But now I'm like, well, I can't do some of these things.
He said, listen, I found someone. Delete. We're done.
Exactly. I mean, I'm very excited, but yeah.
Well, I think people do, like, even especially now, people do have that fear of meeting up with someone because it's that question of, what if they're not like how they're coming across, when the way that I'm messaging them, what if they don't look like, how their pictures are? What if my life is going to end up like a Lifetime movie and like they're going to be like the Craigslist killer or something like that? Yeah. So there's all these fears that go up before you finally decide, okay, I'm going to meet up with this person. Oh yeah. And then you have that other fear, Corona. Well, you have COVID. You have the COVID fear, and you don't know that person outside of this. So, and you're like, you don't know how they're protecting themselves. I mean, now it's getting better, but even during that time, and they're finding 1 out of 5 people love virtual dating. Well, it's very easy. It's very convenient. You just, get dressed from this top up and then have good lighting, and then you can just talk and, you don't have to buy them anything because they can go in their kitchen and get their coffee or dinner or whatever. And, Oh, yeah. And I know. Yeah. And you can even like do virtual museum tours together. You can do the Louvre. You can do virtual wine tastings. There's so many things that you can do, which I personally think are fantastic. I was just talking to a woman I know, and her husband did a virtual date night, and they did a sangria making date night, and it was 2 drag queens from Spain. And do this so they do the whole performance, but yet they teach you how to make sangria. She said it was the best time she's ever had. Oh, I love that. I love that. I mean, it reminds me of drag queen bingo. That could be fun too. Oh yeah.
Oh, good old drag queen bingo. I do miss that.
Right. I know there's a couple of other ones as well. Other
Yes.
quick ones.
Astro Love, which is basically self-explanatory.
Oh God, people in the astrology and what's your sign? I'm like Capricorn. I have no idea like what any of that means, and they're like, oh, I'm like, not the judgment over my sign, like.
Yeah, but here's a crazy fact. I'm not going to go. I wrote a bunch of stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. But here's a crazy fact. Do you know matching with someone goes up by 53% by you putting your sign on?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, note to self, put that you are a Capricorn, but also note to self, put a definition of what Capricorn is. So that way they know that I'm a cool person.
That's sci-fi love. Yes, Kelly.
All right, and then I think there's like two more.
There's two more. There's loc dating, which is really local dating.
Yes.
Which we're seeing a lot because of the pandemic, because nobody's traveling and nobody wants to get on a plane right now, except for some people we know. But I mean, other than that, yeah. But people are dating locally, so it's gone up by 48%. People dating locally, but that really I think has a lot to do with us staying in our homes right now.
Agreed. Like I feel like pre-COVID, people would be like, oh, I live in Hollywood and they live in Long Beach. It's never going to work. And I'm like, but that's like a 40-minute, but it's not close enough. I'm like, do you want somebody next door? Like, what are we doing?
It's true though. I met some guy who lived in Santa Monica and I'm in West Hollywood. And he was like, I don't think I can do that.
That's only a hop, skip, and a jump.
No.
See, this is why sometimes I can't participate in the world of dating. And what's the last type of person that you come across in this online dating thing?
Slothing. So because it's a very slow pace, and sloths are so cute. I love sloths. There is this, like, I think it's a reel or a TikTok of like a sloth on a boat and the boat's going. The sloth just has its arm in the water, just, woo, it's so cute. But slothing. And so basically exactly what you're thinking. It's like people taking their time to get to know each other and build a connection and before deciding to pursue a relationship.
See, that's me. I'm a slother. Like I want to get to know you and know more about you and see the connection and everything before. I'm just not going to meet up with you because you send me a wink and a smile. Like I need to know. So I'm a slother. I'm slother.
Yeah. And sloths are so cute. So you're so cute. So see, there you go.
Okay, so Dorinda, I have two of my friends on so that you can give them some tips on how to spruce up their dating profiles so that they can hopefully gain more matches and find someone to date and be in a relationship with. And these two people are great people. And I it's like one of those things where you meet someone and you're like, I don't understand why you're single. And they're on the apps and they're trying, and it's like, well, what is it about you and your app that's not like driving people in? So are you ready to take a look at these profiles and give them some tips?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
All right. So the first one that we're going to have is Stephie. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Stephie. Look at that smile.
Aww.
You have such a beautiful smile.
So Stephie and I met at a place that I feel like saying at a place that I can't name, but it's because of like NBA stuff. But we met and she was so nice and so bubbly. And so when I told her I was going to have you on, she was like, I just, joined an app. So Stephie, what app did you join? How has it been so far? And what made you decide to hop on the app and give this a try?
I joined Bumble.
Okay.
I love Bumble.
We were just talking about Bumble.
I was like, That's so funny. Yeah, I just joined it last week, like a few days, like I don't know, literally the day when Tony posted about it, I was like, dude, I just joined it. So unfortunately, those screenshots, like I only added like a few like more things, like the questions, like, oh, what do you like, that kind of thing. But yeah, essentially it's that.
And how has it been so far? Like, are you matching with people? Are you finding people that you like? Like, how has it been?
I have been matching with people. I matched with this guy. We just started talking yesterday, so perhaps we're gonna meet up today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, sure. I'm like, I'm free later on tonight.
You are working quick. Well,
So have you guys talked at all, like on the phone or
Yes,
like
he FaceTimed me
FaceTime?
this morning.
Oh, okay. It's a safety issue, so that's where I go.
right.
Okay, like hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay, but-
usually like give my best friends like my location when stuff like that happens. Like I'm not gonna have them come to my house.
Okay, good.
Good. Well, let's take a look at some screenshots of your profile.
Yeah.
So here is Stephie's profile. This isn't all of it, but this is most of it. Dorinda, taking a look at the profile, what's your first impression, and what are some tips that you can give Stephie in order to beef things up a little bit?
Well, first of all, I want a picture of you smiling. I noticed that. Like, honestly, you have such a great smile, and I don't want to be mean, but I'm going to tell you that first picture of you makes you look mean. Like,
Okay.
I'm like, oh, does she want to? She's not happy. What? So it really is your first picture and your last picture. I always tell people should be your showstoppers. Because you have the 6 pictures, and just like when people remember things, they always remember the first and the last. They'll probably remember 1 or 2 in the middle, but they always remember the first and the last. So always make sure that that is your show. Those are your showstoppers. And you're so great and so pretty. So that picture of you laughing, it looks like, that's such a great picture. I wouldn't put it as the first, but I would consider that being the last because it just shows like the effervescence of you and the bubbliness. Like we've been talking like for a month, right? And that's Tony's gonna have to go incognito. So that would be great too. I've done that before too, but that's a whole different thing. But yes, I would like to see that. Now, do you have a bio?
I don't know what to write on it, like without being cheesy, like just a girl doing.
Well, you know what? After this conversation, we maybe after your date, you and I should sit down and I'll help you with your bio. Okay. I'm going to tell you should have a bio. It is so important because what will happen is people read the bios. It is so bios and photos and prompts. You get all of those right, you will honestly attract more of a purpose mate and someone worth your time because you're a beautiful girl who seems very smart, who's bubbly. You need to be with someone like that. And when you're not putting everything out there for people to see, especially like in a bio, you don't have to be crazy, but stuff in there. Ask a question in your bio, actually. Show off your personality. Ask a question in the bio. Or I've had it where there was this one guy on, I think it was Bumble or Hinge. I think it might have been Hinge. No, it was Bumble, where he did, Opposites Attract by Paula Abdul and MC Scat Cat. And he started, he did that. And then I started doing lines back to him. And then that's how our conversation started going. And it made it very easy breezy. And even when you're, because I know we have someone else, but when you're doing the questions, like you match with someone, you ask questions. Are you asking them questions or are you just saying hi?
Yeah, we ask each other questions. Okay. So like, you know how Bumble, unfortunately it's the girl doing the move. So it's like, hey, how are you? Or how's your day going? Or something like that. And then they reply back and then it just goes from there. And I think I put, I changed it up a bit. I put like that I'm a photographer. So like the guy basically was like, oh, so you did photography, what kind of photography? And it just like flowed from there.
Yeah.
Which that's fantastic, because he looked at something. So if in your profile, what will happen in your bio, even in your prompts, they'll probably see something else and be able to ask you more questions. That's what it's there for. It's for them to be able to ask you questions, because if you don't have anything there, they can't really even ask you anything.
Yeah.
So basically in the bio, just like really show off your personality, ask questions, let them know, stuff about you. And I know it's very daunting to have to do a bio, because like, even when I have to, I'm like, well, what do you say about yourself? Like, what do you do? But it sounds like it's almost like writing, a letter to a friend. Like, hey, this is me, and this is what, I want you to know about me. And like, how about you?
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is. It's a volley.
Yeah.
So you're volleying back and forth with each other. And so that is a way to do it. Yeah. So seriously, we'll talk, and I'll help you with your bio.
Cool.
Any last tip for Stephie, Dorinda?
So we talked about the pictures, we talked about personality, we talked about bio. Don't be afraid to use the prompts on Bumble, because you're using Bumble right now. But also make sure when you're talking to someone that you're really listening to things that they say.
Right.
Because red flags do show up, and so meeting someone tonight is great. It's just me being like a mama bear. I'm just going to say this right now. It's just me being a mama bear. But it's just make sure that you have gotten to know them enough to warrant going out to, tonight. But I do want to hear how tonight goes. That's all I'm going to say. I want to know how tonight goes. You have to keep us posted, because you could honestly be the person who meets someone and this is your purpose mate. Like, this is your person. It could totally be. But, it's great that you're getting out there and doing it. And I love the apps. And Bumble has many other things to it. Yeah. So there's Bumble Biz and Bumble BFF, which I really like.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
Stephie, we will, first we'll check on you with the date and see how that goes, to see if you need to fill in your bio.
I'll share the tea.
Yes. But, listen, I'm all here for it.
Yeah, because you might not even need me anymore.
Well, in case it doesn't work out, I'll connect you with Dorinda, so that way you can get a stellar bio in there, so that you can attract all the men.
Yes.
I love it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Stephie.
Bye.
Well, good luck. All right, so now we have one more, and we have Charlie. Charlie and I actually went to college together, and he's a great guy. He, when I was doing Mutual Friend, which is a dating segment that I do here on More Please, he was always like, what about me? What about me? What about me? And I was like, ooh, I want to find someone for you, but I don't have anyone right now, but I'm keeping you in mind. And so when I found out he was on the apps, I was like, let's talk about it. So let's bring Charlie on to take a look at his profile. Hey, Charlie.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. So tell us what app you're on and what made you decide to get on the app, and how is it going?
Well, I use a lot of them.
Yes.
But mostly I'm on Hinge.
Oh, the app that's supposed to be deleted.
That's what they say it's supposed to be for.
How long have you had it?
About 1.5 years now.
Okay. Well,
it's not been deleted yet.
It has not been deleted yet.
Has there ever been a time where it might have been deleted? Like on the verge of being deleted?
No.
Okay.
Not recently.
Charlie is 1.5 years going strong on the Hinge. And how has it been going? Like, are you matching with people? Are you talking? Like, how's the experience?
I do get a lot of matches, but I think that I think you guys talked about FOMO. I think a lot of people have that. And I think sometimes the conversations kind of just run dry. Even though I try to push them along, I feel like the conversations kind of run dry a little bit.
Okay. Well, let's find out what's going on. Let's take a little look at the profile here.
Oh gosh.
All right, so we got the first one there, and then because with Hinge, they ask you questions and then you can fill them in.
Yeah.
So we have one here that's about your son because you have a son.
Yeah.
So you have that information out there. This training time photo, is this?
So all right. So what do we want to ask about that one?
I have questions because this could be like pre-bar or post-bar or actually like training.
So
Or you play hockey.
Yes.
no, I actually do MMA as a hobby.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
that was just a selfie at the gym.
See,
A shameless selfie at the gym when I was completely sweaty and gross and I had my mouth guard in. It looks like I don't have teeth.
yeah. Well, because let me tell you, selfies here at LA gyms look very different than the one that you're doing.
Well, look, I live in South Carolina, man. We are not LA-esque out this way.
Listen, people do selfies at the gym here, and it's like shirtless, sweaty, like who just went to the gym. Like I don't look, but let me tell you, I don't look like that. I'm very like with the face of like, what am I doing here? But Dorinda, after seeing that and getting
First rule about Fight Club.
don't talk about Fight Club. After seeing bits of Charlie's profile and kind of getting the essence of him and how he is, what are some tips that you can give him to spruce up the profile?
Okay, there's a couple of things. I first get rid of that gym. Get rid of the gym picture first and foremost. It's that you're a good-looking guy, and that doesn't say anything to me about who you are. Not that it doesn't say who you are, but it's not giving me I want to match with you vibes. So, and then I see that you have a son, and that is wonderful and it's beautiful. And you seem like you're a very great dad. But what that just said to me right there, and I don't want to have you get upset with me, but this is me as a woman who's on these apps.
Yeah.
It's you're looking for a mother for your child. That's what that says to me. Like you're not really looking to date someone where you're supposed to be dating for you. You're not dating for your child. I mean, eventually, yes, but in the beginning of getting to know someone, your child, it's a safety thing too. It's like any woman who sees that, they're like, I'm not even coming in third or fourth, or depending on how many kids you have. I think it's just the one son you have, but they're thinking, well, this is all he wants from me. And it's not about that, because when you date someone, you should know if you get along with them. And then you bring your children into it. I'm also going to ask you another question. Do you have pictures of your son on your profiles?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I'm once again, this is about safety. And this is safety first and foremost. Your children should not be in your profile photos. It shouldn't be there, because you don't know. I mean, I know this became very serious, but the truth of the matter is that you don't know who's out there. Just like I said, with what you wrote in your prompt, someone might be looking at your child and not looking at you. So, and also once again, that shows that person's not going to rank. You're the person that you're dating. So you might be missing out on a whole great gaggle of women, amazing, powerful women, but they see that and they go to another place.
Yeah.
And so, and like I said, you're a good looking dude. Like you at the drums, you know who you look like. And it's someone I used to have a crush on. True story, Ed Burns.
Oh,
I haven't never gotten that one.
Who's Ed Burns?
Ed Burns. He's been in a bunch of movies. What was his famous one? Brothers McMullen.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah, he's married to Christy Turlington.
Got it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, and it's right. That picture, you look like Ed Burns right there to me.
I see it now. Yep.
Yeah.
So Charlie, when you when you were mentioning your son in the profile, what was your thinking behind that?
I think for me, like I do agree that I previously have been dating for my son, not for me. And I think that's sort of still been my purpose in the back of my mind, because I'm afraid to build a connection with someone and then they don't get along with my kid, and then I'm going to end up hurt in the long run.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a big fear for me.
Kids are truth tellers. Like,
yeah.
Someone can walk in the house and they go, and you're like,
that's 100% my son. 100%.
Because listen, that was me as a kid. I was always like, you're not doing this today. So I get that.
And what you can do, you can say that you have a kid. That's fine. You can put that in your bio or whatever, but it's the phrasing. It's all in the phrasing. And honestly, I mean, if you're going on 2 or 3 dates for yourself, just yourself, 2 or 3 dates with somebody, you should know if you want a little bit more with them. And then think about, okay, do I want to introduce my child to that person? Instead of up in the beginning. And honestly, you, like I said, a handsome guy. Thank you. You should, and I truly mean that. And honestly, I want to see more pictures of you. I want to see more pictures of you. Get rid of the gym selfie. The picture of your child. I don't know how many you have up there, but just one.
I think just one.
Yeah. So get rid of that. Honestly, if you like, I would love to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to help you. We'll get some good pictures and everything. I have a course where where I teach you how to take photos.
Oh, I definitely need help with that.
Yeah, I'll teach you how to do the whole photo. It's one module of the course, and we'll get you some good photos. We'll get you in the right colors that make you pop. Like men have this, just like women, we have our colors that just make us stand out.
This is very true. She knows her colors.
Yeah, exactly. And so we'll get you, like, you have those nice blue eyes. So I'm going with probably a nice blue to make them pop, or a green. Like, we'll find something, even maybe like a purple, like a nice, like darker purple, or even a lilac if you're cool with that. But we'll get something for you, and we'll get some pictures going, and then we'll help you with prompts if you want to stay on Hinge. Now, I'm also going to ask you this. When we asked you what app, you said a lot of apps. What are your other apps?
Let's see. Hinge, Bumble. I've done the Facebook dating thing. Last year, I signed up for Match.com. And I did just like a 6-month thing, just to kind of like I'm going to give it 6 months. If I don't find anybody, I'm out.
You're done with it.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I'm on mostly.
Okay. So listen, I say to everybody, 3 app max. You don't go more than that, because you'll first of all, you're going to find a lot of the same people on the apps anyway. That's number one. And if you go more than 3 apps, you're not even giving yourself the time to even concentrate on even just 1 app or 2 apps. So I think that we should, honestly, I think Hinge and Bumble are probably your best. Hinge and Bumble are probably your best right now. And so I'll go over all of that with you, and just because I want to help you, because you seem like a really nice guy, and I want you to meet somebody. Listen, I love love. I'm like one of those, crazy aunts who are like, I love love, and I want everybody to find love.
Well, hopefully I can get it. Hopefully we can find it somewhere.
Yeah, see, Dorinda, I told you before the show, and even now, like, Charlie's like a really good guy. Like, I just think with your, like, guidance, he'll be able to to get those South Carolina girls, you know, to like really go for them.
Nice. Yeah. We're in South Carolina.
So I live like right on the border where Charlotte, North Carolina is. So I'm in Rock Hill.
Oh, I know where that is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know exactly where that is. Okay, cool.
You know where Rock Hill, South Carolina is?
I know the area. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting.
That is very interesting. Nobody ever
Yeah.
knows Rock Hill.
Because I feel
Yeah,
like
I almost went to Belmont Abbey in Charlotte.
Okay.
oh,
And
we both
Aunt lives in Greensboro.
went to Winthrop, and so I feel like
Speaking of Winthrop, Tony,
yes.
I actually have a special guest.
Who?
I don't know if you remember this thing right here, but it resides with me now.
So what Charlie has is, so I was the mascot at Winthrop the entire time I was there, and that was the costume that I wore as the mascot. And you have it?
I was the mascot shortly after you.
Yeah.
And when I graduated, I took a few pieces from the costume because we had gotten a completely new one.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? If I'm leaving, I'm taking something with me to remember it.
Well, good. Did you take the suit too?
No, I didn't take all. Well, if I did that and somebody came to the house, then it would be a whole different conversation of like why I have a full like bodysuit of like an eagle. So I opted out of that.
There's a word for those people.
And that's the word I'm trying to avoid.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say it because it's my show, furries. They the furries. If we saw you there with the full costume, that would be called furries. But that is a whole different show. Oh my God, that's so crazy. Oh my God, the memories of putting that head on and doing all mainly dancing. That was me. I was just always dancing and flapping those wings. Well, good for you for having that. Like I feel like we all should assign the inside of it, so that way you could have had like the names of all the people who wore it.
That would have been cool.
Oh wow. Well, we'll concentrate on that later. First, we're gonna get you a date.
Let's work on that first. Yeah.
Yes, let's do that. Yes, let's definitely do that. I'm excited. Yes.
Yay. Well, thank you, Charlie, for popping on, and I'll make sure you and Dorinda connect so that way she can help you out with your profile more. And we have to figure out how to have you guys back so that way we can find out and get like an update as to what happened.
Just let me know when.
Okay.
Oh,
We're good. And then maybe when you pop on, instead of showing me an eagle head, you'll show the girl that you met. Yeah.
Fingers crossed on that one. Fingers crossed.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
All right. So, Dorinda, for the people who are watching, what are some other just or advice that you can give regarding online dating? Because we've gone through the gamut and gone through so much. But is there any other like last minute tips or advice that you can give for it?
Yeah, I'd say honestly, confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It really has to do with confidence in self-love.
Yeah.
And you go into it with the energy, and I said this before, it's the energy you put out is the energy you get back. And everybody I know who's put great energy into online dating, they come back threefold in finding amazing guys. Even for me, the men that I've dated on online dating in the past, like, you know, few years since I've been doing this and really into online dating have been amazing men. Don't get me wrong. There's been a couple of, you know, not so great, but for the most part, really great people that I meet online that I've now friends with and so on and so forth. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. And I think confidence is just a key to life. You know, I think when you have confidence in yourself and you believe in yourself and you believe that you're worthy, I think that translates too. So.
Oh, and one more quick thing. Talking about, I want to bring up photos real quick. Make sure you have at least one full length photo in your profile. When you do your photos, make sure you have at least one full length, and make sure I say this for your first photo is they can see you. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a full length, your first photo. It can be a 3/4 or whatever, but make sure they can see you. Because that's, like I said, the showstopper. That's the one that it's going to make people stop and look and then swipe.
Agree.
Mhm.
Well, maybe I'll gain the confidence to get back into this, or or maybe I'll be the third person that you help. In
There you
this.
go. I would love that. Yes.
Well, Dorinda, I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much for joining and giving everyone all the tips. And I hope that you guys found these tips useful and helpful. And now you can go out into the online dating world to find your match, mate, soulmate, whatever it is that you're looking for. So thanks again, Dorinda.
Thank you. This was a blast. Thank you so much.
I love it. All right. Now, y'all, listen, don't go anywhere because guess what? I got just a little bit more for you. You are watching More Please.
Calculating. On. Off. Click to continue. Log on. Log on. Printing. Printing complete.
A killer bunny, a killer hare, an inspector on his little cottontail. A new audio drama series from the mind of James Law Jr. and Molina Productions is coming this Easter to all audio streaming platforms.
What are you doing?
Not only does he hide eggs, he hides bodies.
All right. Listen, I know y'all's tea mugs are empty, but guess what? I got a little bit more for you. So, you guys, I've had quite a few friends just kind of going through the change and things with it now being a whole year since the pandemic lockdown quarantine. And what we're all finding is that it's very important for us to protect our energy. So I want to give this advice to you all. Just make sure you protect your energy and be careful of who's around you, because it's very important to surround yourself with positive energy so that way you can continue to thrive. All right. So be aware of that. Well, thank you guys so much. That is the show. I want to thank Dorinda Barker for coming on from NXT Connection. And make sure you go find her at www.nextconnection.com. That's NXT Connection. Thank you to Charlie and Stephie for coming on so that we can see your profiles, and best of luck to you. But hey, come back next week because I always have more, please.